to your horoscopes for this week. This is the week ending 12/20/2014, the week before Christmas, but it's creeping up on us. And of course, we're going to get started, as always, with Aries. There's a lot of things going on for the Rams this week, as a matter of fact, and it's a little bit a good balance of good and bad aspects. So we're going to start with the challenges first, because that way we can save the good news for later. And the challenge, of course, is this square with Pluto that's been going on for a while. Well, for this week, it'll be joined by Venus throughout the entire week and Mercury throughout the end of the week. Beginning of the week, though, it's very much trined with Uranus, so it's in a good aspect. So use that good energy of Mercury at the beginning of the week to basically express your needs when it comes to your personal goals, some of your career goals, things like that, because this square aspect really hits hard when it comes to the career, and especially doing it your way, your unique way. Now, your unique way is great, but sometimes you have to conform to the rules a little bit, and that's where it can get a little tricky and a little frustrating for you guys. The good news is Uranus is trined with the sun all week long, and giving you unlimited possibilities and the abilities to shine in those projects that you love, especially those ones that are around career. So if something's not working in one place, look at something that is working for now and give that other thing some time to kind of sort of work itself through what needs to be worked through. Also, a really good aspect with Mars, your home planet, your ruling planet, gives you a burst of energy when it comes to getting together with loved ones this week, because that really is what it's all about this time of year. It's those loved ones and partying and getting together, and that kind of sort of gets the stale energy gone and the good ideas going for the following year. So enjoy that time, surrounded by those you love or surrounded by those who love you. Kick back instead of working so much. And when it comes down to it, when things seem really, really sticky with these aspects, don't get frustrated. Look to something else that's going to move forward rather than focusing on what's holding you back for right now, because that's how you get to be awesome. So you guys have a great week with that. Taurus, you've been spending some time looking to the past a little bit. Well, rather than looking to the past at the negative things or the difficulties that you've had in your life, look to the past and see how you've grown, the good things, the accomplishments that you've had. This week is all about turning that looking to the past around and using it in a way that works better for you by looking at the things that you've been able to do for yourself in terms of your own success, whether it's personal or financial or whatever kind of success. Bottom line is if you keep looking back at difficulties or abuses or wrongdoings from others, your focus remains there. But looking at yourself and the things that you've been able to accomplish and even writing them down, you'll be able to really physically see your strong points and all of the work that you've put into you to make the positive you that's here right now. This also is really helpful as you start to see the positive things in the difficult situations in your life as well. What did they teach you? How did they help you in some way? Everything has a positive purpose. So looking back positively at yourself makes things a lot easier for you now, because you can see your success rather than focus on your failures. And that's what makes you guys awesome at what you do. So you guys, good luck and have a great week with that. Gemini, it's all about transforming your thoughts into actions this week. This week is very centered around the mind and your thoughts, and this is a perfect place for you Geminis because you think on many, many levels for sure, and many different things. But at the same time, it can do a disservice to you at the same time, especially when you're thinking so many thoughts that one thought leads to another, and by the end of a nice, beautiful 2 hours thinking and manifestation session, you really didn't get much accomplished because you moved to too many things at once. Now is the time to train your brain. When you sit down to have that beautiful idea thinking session for yourself, do yourself a favor, and whatever comes up that you want to focus on, write that down on a piece of paper and give yourself something to look at and to focus on. As you're doing this, other thoughts and ideas are going to come into your head, as it always happens with Geminis. So what you want to do is you want to write those down on a separate piece of paper. You're going to come back to those later. They're great ideas, but this allows you to have some sort of organization and really focus on something that ultimately could mean big things for you in those goals and things that you have set up in your life. So work this week on learning how to work with your brain, not allow your brain to do whatever it is that your brain's going to do, but work with your brain. Get those ideas out there. Once you're able to set those ideas up, the next process after that is to be able to manifest those things into reality and put the work into it and get them done. So train your brain this week and see what kind of awesome stuff you can come up with. And have a great week with that. Cancer, home is where the heart is, and this week is the perfect opportunity to be spending some time in that place you love the most, your home. It's the most comfortable for you. Everything you need is always right there. It's your safe space, but it's also that space where you get to spend the time with the people that you love the most, of course, those people that live there in the home, or maybe even spending some time quietly shut away by yourself to have some thinking time or some me time. That's always a good thing too. And this week has plenty opportunities for that time for you to be able to spend that time at home instead of running around and doing this and that and the other thing, which you guys are good at, but every once in a while you need a break from that. It This break is really important for you guys because it's definitely a rejuvenation and rebalancing point for you. So don't feel bad about taking it up, guys. Just sit back, relax, and have an awesome time doing it. You guys have a great week. Leo, that nasty little square with Saturn is so close to being over, but it's not over yet, unfortunately. But it's so close to being over. And this week, it really has a lot to do with money specifically. There might be a little bit of an issue there financially this week, or kind of sort of feeling like you just don't have enough money to do all the things that you want to do. And that can be very, very frustrating. But the challenge is, are there to be challenged, or for there for you to challenge you. So look to the good aspects that are happening this week. Jupiter's trine with the sun, and Mercury through Tuesday, the sun the whole week actually makes some beautiful possibilities when it comes to some goals that you've set up for yourself. Being able to shine in these goals and being able to communicate your needs as clearly as possible at the beginning of the week helps you to set sail to get things moving in a positive pace. So, yes, is that square still there? It is a little bit heavy, yes, but it's on its way out. I swear this is the last week of Saturn in Scorpio, and then a couple weeks, and it'll move on. I do promise you that it is coming by the end of the month for sure. And in the meantime, enjoy that boost of energy, getting some things done, because it's time for you guys to move forward with those goals that you have. So you guys have an awesome time doing that and have a great week. Virgos, this is actually going to be a really great week for you guys, with the exception of Sunday, where the moon is in Virgo, just about leaving Virgo on Sunday, out by Monday, and then easy peasy from there. That moon does actually create some aspects that are not challenging, but very helpful when it comes to boosting your finances, specifically for those things that you need, and maybe a little bit more at the same time. Does create a little bit of a challenge there when it seems like your goals are so far out of reach that you'll never get them. Guys, give yourselves a break there about worrying about that. If there's a little bit of an issue there, especially in terms of the relationships around that goal, you want to step aside or step away from it for a day or so, because the rest of the week, we're talking an interim time. There's really no focus, there's really no planets. The dark moon's not even in your sign, trying to demand changes from you this week. She's gone retrograde and gone back into Leo. So what do? You have plenty of time just to work out those little kinks and spend some time really focusing on the aspects of your life that really you feel have an issue with. Remember, worrying about it doesn't help the situation. Worrying about it only prolongs the situation. This is stepping out of worry and stepping into action and getting things done. And if anybody can do it, you guys can. So you guys have a great week with that. Libra. The focus is really on relationships for you guys this week, and the moon coming into your sign on Monday and Tuesday is actually going to create some difficulties. Actually, some pretty big difficulties there for a couple of days as it T-squares with Uranus and also Venus and Pluto in Capricorn. And that's going to cause some difficulties when you look at your career goals and specifically the relationships around that career. Either this is something that happens at work or it affects your goals that you haven't really established yet. Either way, there is going to be some difficulties there. And specifically, it really comes down to how you handle it. If you're handling it the same old way, probably not going to work out very well for you. So it's time to step it up and maybe handle it in a little bit of a different way. A way that makes people really stop and want to hear what you have to say, mainly because they're expecting the same reaction out of you that you always give them, and then you react differently and it sort of takes them off guard. It's also a good way to get people's attention every now and then, and you Libras are really good at getting attention when you want it. So make sure that if this is something that's important to you, you really sit down and say, hey, I need this time, and say what you need to say, not what you don't want to say to hurt somebody's feelings. Bottom line is you can say what you need to say and speak your truth without hurting anybody's feelings. After those couple of days, though, things do smooth out for the rest of the week. Focus is on getting those relationships airtight and a good foundation so that you can work with them at some point later on. Rather than complain about the issue, fix the issue and move on with it. Nobody can do it better than you guys. And have a great week with that. Scorpios, this is the last week of Saturn being in your sign, and then he is moving on. C'est la vie. It's been fun, but bye-bye now. And that is, of course, going to be a little bit difficult as he squares two planets instead of one as he's on his way out, causing a little bit of an issue there financially for you in a couple of different ways. The main way being not being able to feel or having that feeling of not being able to get the things that you would like to get, especially when it comes to spoiling those beautiful people that you love in your life rotten. This is a very old thought pattern as the square with Neptune really writes out in big letters. This is an old emotional pattern that you want to get rid of and make sure that you leave room for new possibilities instead. Now, this is not always an easy thing for people to do. In fact, it's generally not easy for anybody to do. At the same time, though, it does work. When you're worried about money or you're constantly saying, I'm broke, what happens? You're stuck being broke. If you stop worrying about money and start focusing on something else instead, the money literally fixes itself, basically. And the best part is, you don't have to waste your energy or your own physical health worrying about it, because worrying also has a tendency to affect our physical health. Now, when the moon comes into your sign, Wednesday through Friday, big, beautiful things are taking place actually with those placements. And there's big boosts in your career, especially when it comes to help from certain people around you. So keep an eye out for that. Again, that's a good way of focusing that energy on, instead of finances or negative things, focusing that energy on something positive, because this is a way that you can fix your financial situation. So no matter what happens, look to the bright side of things instead of the difficult side of things. And remember, the light at the end of the tunnel, it is almost there. And Saturn's almost out of your sign. So you guys have a fantastic week. Sagittarius, happy birthday to all the Sagittarians born the last week of the sun in Sagittarius. And I want to take this time really quick before I get into the horoscopes to say a couple of different happy birthdays, because this week is jam-packed with birthdays. So I want to say happy birthday to my very good friend Ben out there somewhere. Happy birthday, dear. And also to Peg Jones, owner of PegsAngelicalWhispers.com. She teaches amazing classes in angel communication. She's an angel intuitive. She does Akashic records. She's awesome, and I love her. Mwah, happy birthday. And to Wings to Soar, Sherry Gamble, whose birthday is also this week. My partner in crime. She's the wings in Grateful Fairy Wings, and I absolutely love you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to anybody born this week, the last week of Sagittarius. Lots of stuff happening for you guys. We got Saturn coming into Sagittarius. This is the last week where he's not going to be in your sign, but his effects are already being felt for sure, especially as he's squared with Neptune and Jupiter, big planets that really move slowly, and this is probably going to be going on for quite some time. You'll be feeling that, especially that square with Neptune. And that square with Neptune is all about getting rid of old junk. Not anybody's favorite thing to do, never is. But at the same time, the more of that those old feelings, those old mindsets, the more of those things that we get rid of, the lighter and freer we feel. And when it comes down to it, things have a hard time changing in our lives when we don't get rid of those sort of things. So that's going to be a bit of a heavy aspect. You're already feeling it. It's already right there on the line, ready to jump in your sign. But at the same time, there's still magical possibilities happening, especially as the sun is trined with Jupiter this week and also trined with Uranus this week, which basically means that when it comes down to it, you are successful at being you. If you've got some things that you're looking at, some goals that you'd like to set in place, now is the week to do it. Let's get it done, get it moving, and basically start being awesome, start being successful, because that's what you want to do. Those challenges and those things, they only hold you back if you allow them to. And a typical Sagittarian doesn't allow anything to hold them back. So you guys have an awesome week. Capricorn, lots of ups and downs this week for you guys as we're talking good things and not so good things. And we're going to start with Pluto square with Uranus. Now, Venus joins that square, and as the week progresses, so does Mercury joins that square also, a little bit on the outside, whereas Venus and Pluto become full conjunct this week. So this is actually a really good thing in terms of being able to create and make the things that you love when it comes to your career. Making these goals is one thing, but actually setting them into place and seeing it pan out before your very eyes, that's real success right there. It's not a monetary thing. It's seeing the accomplishment when it's done. And this is one of those weeks where you're going to be able to do that. You're going to be seeing those goals actually put into place. All of that hard work, and there's nobody like a Capricorn for good, solid, hard work. So this is a great thing. However, these planets squared with Uranus kind of sort of makes it feel like there is a little bit of a challenge there. Is it going to happen? It's kind of like being at the baseball game and sitting at the edge of your seat, waiting. Is it going to happen? Are they going to win? Oh my God, it's a tie game. That's really how it feels. Bottom line is, it's going to happen. Trust me. You put a lot of hard work into it, so it's going to be fine. Don't mind any, especially Monday and Tuesday. There's a T-square with these planets and Uranus and the moon in Libra. So this is going to be a really heavy emotional, fingers crossed that this works. But when it does, it's like somebody shot off a cannon and you're ready to roll, and it's going to be beautiful. And also the Pluto and Venus do aspect the moon in beautiful ways, making finances possible for this venture to happen. So don't lose a heart. You're almost there. And once you get there, honey, it's party time. So you guys have a great week with that. Aquarius, Mars in your sign is actually making you get things done. And that's a beautiful thing, actually. Mars is like the fire under our rears to get us moving and get us going when it comes to different things that we need to do. And this week, in a beautiful aspect with Uranus, he's really teaching you just how much you have the power to change the reactions of the people around you. Now, I'm not saying that you really do have the power to change what other people are doing. Nobody really has that. But changing the way you react to the situation might actually change the way that they react to the situation when you think about it. It's all about you this week, is the bottom line. Yes, it's not a I've got my crown on and I'm going to sit in my throne all week kind of a week, kind of all about you. But it is really looking inside of you to find out why it is that when people bother you, why you're offended by it. Do you need to be offended by it? Maybe you don't need to be offended by it. It's a root in you that gets hurt, and that's what causes the offense. So when it comes down to it, it's all about changing that perception. Can other people hurt me? No, not if I allow them to. And that helps us also get through some of the emotional stuff that's inside of us that make us react in certain ways so that we can change the way we react to it and thus change the outcome of the situation. It's a good challenge if you want to take it, and I definitely would suggest that you do, because when it comes down to it, when you can eliminate these things, it's like letting go of anchors and you feel lighter than air, and Mars energy projecting you forward to do great things with your life right now is a lot easier to use at that point. So good luck with that and have a great week, guys. And finally, Pisces, Neptune square with Saturn is making things difficult when it comes to finances, especially. And now is the time to really, really refocus how you look at those financial difficulties. There's so many other beautiful things that are taking place in terms of positive aspects that really this challenge, as heavy as it may be, doesn't have to be your entire focus. Definitely good things are happening with Neptune's aspects with the Sun and Mercury this week, especially when it comes to your goals and your career goals. Now, you have a little bit of a financial issue, but at the same point, things are opening, doors are opening up for you, opportunities are opening up for you. You want to avoid being so lost on the I don't have money thing that you wind up missing these different opportunities that are coming up, or maybe not taking them because they're not enough money for you or something like that. You wind up completely turning around your perception, and all of these opportunities, some of them may lead to really, really, really wonderful things. You just don't know until you really look into it. So yes, this Saturn and Neptune aspect is going to be a little bit difficult for you guys as it moves around and focuses on different things. But right now, what it comes down to is really looking at and identifying that old perception that makes you think you don't deserve to have money, because honey, that's got to go this week. So you guys have a fantastic week with that. Thank you all so much for listening. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Thanks again for hanging out with me. And don't forget to check us out at afairymothersdream.webs.com, and also on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/Grateful Fairy Wings. We are happy to have anybody come into our group. We're going to be starting up classes here at the beginning of the year. And of course, there's that 13 card tarot for 2015. 2.5 weeks left, guys, and then it's gone. Have a beautiful week, guys, and I will see you again next week.